This is Crypto Pio, you're watching Escape Velocity, and today I'm doing a very special episode where we're covering the Sotheby's and NiftyGateway collaboration for PAC's new drop. So this is the second time that one of the major traditional auction houses are auctioning off a digitally native piece of artwork by an NFT artist. The first was Beeple when he did his Everyday's drop with Christie's a couple of months ago, generating $69 million at auction, and I'm actually predicting that PAC's in total is going to outperform that considering the complexity and creativity of the drop. So let's dive right in. So right off the bat, when you go to NiftyGateway today, you'll see that things are a lot different. It's literally NiftyGateway x Sotheby's, like a collaboration between NiftyGateway and Sotheby's, and the front page here is just all about the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, focusing on PAC's drop. It's the most complex drop that's ever been on NiftyGateway, bar none, not even close. And there's a lot of things in this drop that we have not seen before. So if you look here, Monday, April 12th, today in other words, we have the auctions starting for the Switch and the Pixel. From 1 to 1:15, we have the open editions for Cube. Same thing, 1 to 1:15 tomorrow for Cube, and same thing on Wednesday, and then the auctions end. So check it out. There's never been open editions on NiftyGateway that lasted 3 days, like where it was available on 3 separate days. I also don't believe we've had any open editions that were 15 minutes long. So there's 45 minutes of total buy time for Cube. And I think part of this is to build the hype around this drop and give people an opportunity over the matter of 3 days to buy Cube, because there's a lot of incentives to do so. And I'm going to go into those soon. So let's take a look here. The entire drop is called The Fungible by PAC. PAC is an anonymous artist. He is on Twitter as Murat PAC, and he sums up the name as, he said, I frequently get asked, what does Murat PAC mean if it's a made-up name? Murat means purpose, desire, wish. PAC means simple and pure. Murat PAC, aiming, desiring, wishing the simplest, purest. Dropped Murat for quite some time, but still carry it in my usernames for historical meetings. So the official artist name is PAC. And again, an anonymous artist. So check it out. The open edition Cube costs $500. Oh my goodness. So I'm just popping back onto my computer after eating. Oh my goodness. So this is insane. So we're 5 minutes into this drop right now. It's 1:05. And there's 12,232 units sold. Let's refresh. 12,284. Cube is flying off the shelves. That is insane. That's completely out of control. So that's really wild. I didn't expect the numbers to be so high. I'll talk about what I predict this entire drop to generate in terms of total sales is. And sorry if I just got distracted and blindsided by that, but I didn't expect 12,000 sales in 5 minutes on day one out of 3 days, 45-minute total buy time. So that's crazy. So check it out. Each purchase of a Cube, so this open edition, is an open edition unit that goes toward redemption of specific NFTs based on the total amount of units purchased. Those NFTs are 5 cubes, 10 cubes, 20 cubes, 50 cubes, so on and so forth. So you can buy a lot of cubes, like 50 units, for example, and exchange those for the NFT 50 cubes. So it's one of these interesting, buy a bunch of a particular piece and exchange it for others. We've seen this with burns before. For example, Faces by Slime Sunday and Blau. You can burn 6 faces and receive, another piece. Saw it with Dot Pigeon. We've seen it with a lot of different artists. So this is an interesting one where there's major incentives. Let's see what the total units for people to buy several. So we're at almost 13,000 here, 12,687 in just about 6.5 minutes. So that is really interesting. And if you go on Discord and see people talking about this drop and talking about this open edition, this Cube NFT is really like a token where it's going to really serve as like currency, kind of, So it's definitely an interesting piece to keep an eye on. If you don't buy it today, don't worry. You'll have an opportunity to buy it tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm not sure how they'll do the minting on it. I'm not sure if you'll get random mints generated from the open edition today, and then later mints for the one tomorrow, or later mints for the one Wednesday. And I also don't know when the NFT gets to your account. I'm assuming that it'll all happen after Wednesday, and it'll just be one massive round of mints being generated. So don't forget about this open edition, because you're going to see it come up when we cover later stuff. So here's the Cube, which is the Cube is a unique one-of-one NFT that will be given to the individual who purchases the most open edition cubes by the end of day 3. So there it is. The more cubes, aka this open edition, that you buy, the more of a chance that you have to have the most, right? And you're going to see it again after, but basically whoever big dog is and whoever buys the most of these, by the way, we're north of 13,000 here, whoever buys the most cubes will get the Cube. Complexity, which I think is a very appropriate name for a piece in this drop, given how complex of a marketing, system has been created here to generate attention, to incentivize buyers, to reward collectors. This is really wild. Absolute masterclass. I saw Sergito on Twitter talk about this being like the biggest experiment with game theory in the history of humans, which I think is totally accurate, because we're using the internet. There's a ton of hype around this, and the level of complexity is completely insane. So the growth of NFTs has proven the extraordinary value that emerges from closer relationships between collector and creator. Complexity is a collection of 100 NFTs that will be given to the following 100 individuals who purchase the most open edition cubes by the end of day 3. So you can think of this as a continuation of the Cube. So rather than just the number one person that gets, that buys the most of them receiving that one of one the Cube, that person and 99 more will receive an edition of Complexity, one of 100. That's going to be pretty crazy. Equilibrium. Of course, see, it's supposed to load here. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, NiftyGateway's been running incredibly slow because of how much traffic they're getting, and it's been really tough. Equilibrium is a 4 of 4 where each edition will be sent to the winner of specific criteria. So here we go. Let's add on the complexity. Let's add on the creative marketing. The cryptographer, number 1 of 4. The person who solves the puzzle will be rewarded one of the 4 Equilibrium NFTs. See here for Pax Puzzle. So that link doesn't work anymore, but here on Twitter, Pax said the cryptographer explained. The puzzle had 2 elements, audio and visual. The visual element is a binary sequence encoded in RGB channels. The audio element is a QR code hidden in the spectrogram. Resolves to 3DKVBS5. So, very complex puzzle from what I can tell. It's over my head. Let's put it that way. It's totally over my head. And apparently it was solved by somebody in record time, which is just, I don't even understand what that means. So that one's already been dished out. That's crazy. The Hunter, number 2 of 4. The collector who acquires any piece of art by pack from its initial marketplace for the highest amount on the secondary market will receive one of the 4 Equilibrium NFTs. So in other words, the collector who acquires any piece of art by pack for the highest amount on the secondary market will receive one of the 4 Equilibrium NFTs. And the small caveat is that it's from its initial marketplace. So if you bought it on NiftyGateway, you have to buy, if the piece dropped on NiftyGateway, you have to buy that piece on NiftyGateway secondary marketplace. If the piece dropped on Rarible, you have to buy it on the secondary marketplace on Rarible. And whoever buys the most expensive one. So this is a really cool one because it rewards whoever buys it, the collector, and it also rewards whoever sells it, the original owner. The person that buys it gets rewarded because they get, the Hunter, number 2 out of 4, a very rare piece, obviously, in this historic pack drop. And the person that sells it gets rewarded because they're going to get a ton of money for something that they paid much less money for, because the whole point of this one is that it's the most money spent on one of the pieces on the secondary market. So I couldn't have thought of that. That's a really creative thing. No surprise in this pack drop. The influencer, number 3 of 4. The individual that posts hashtag pack was here to the biggest social media audience will receive one of the 4 Equilibrium NFTs. So This is interesting. This is super nuts. I don't even want to speculate who the influencer is going to be that has the biggest following that posts this. I'm pretty sure Paris Hilton, if she hasn't already posted it, she's like kind of been posting about it. She's been buying a ton of NFTs. I'll probably cover it in another video. She's buying some NFTs that I own, so I guess I should be excited about that. I don't know. But yeah, it's just really, really interesting that, you know, they thought to do this. This is amazing marketing for NiftyGateway and the NFT space in general, and of course, PAC. And imagine if it's someone that's huge, someone like The Rock or something that actually does this. I don't know. We'll see. I'll circle back on this once it happens and definitely update it in a video. The Oracle, number 404. The person who most closely estimates the total sale of the entire collection prior to the auction beginning on April 12th will receive one of the 4 Equilibrium NFTs. So I put in my guess of $122 million. The way I got to that number, it's not that sophisticated or scientific, but you know, Beeple's auction with Christie's was 69 million, and that was for one piece. The piece itself was very complex, right? It was 5,000 pieces of art that he had done over the course of 5,000 days that got put together into one image. So, you know, definitely cool, definitely complex. This drop has this outrageous amount of complexity and incentives across the board. Like, we're only talking about one part of the drop, and this is incredibly complex. You know, there's so much going on. I mean, now that we actually have a little bit of data, because there's been almost 15,000 mints of Cube on the first day, which is nuts. And yeah, there's still 2 minutes left, or a minute and a half left. You know, the sky's the limit for this one. So I said 122 million because I figured it was going to be way more than the Beeple drop, considering the level of complexity. I could be completely wrong. I could be super high. Could also be super low. Who knows? There's definitely going to be a lot of hype around this, I think. So the builder. The world of NFTs today is the latest in a long, vibrant history of digital artwork. The Builder is a set of 30 NFTs that will be given to artists, builders, and creators who have paved the way for PAC and other NFT artists. The recipients to be determined by PAC are those without whom extraordinary leaps in the evolution of media and art would not have happened. So these are determined by PAC. So he's just saying, you know, I'm giving 30 NFTs out to people that he believes are, you know, are artists, builders, and creators that have paved the way for PAC. Whoever he gives these to, it's going to validate them in a major way. If you're a creator, you're, you know, an artist or something, your work's probably going to go up in value because PAC determined that you're a person that he's influenced by, and look at where he is now. So I don't know who he's going to give it to. I hope he gives some to artists whose work I own. You know, we'll see. I hope so. But yeah, I mean, this is another really interesting thing, and I wonder if anybody out of those 30 will ever sell theirs. That's really interesting. The Switch. All right, it's been decided. The Switch is a unique one-of-one NFT that demonstrates the evolution of artwork in the digital realm. The Switch is developed to change form at a specific point in time of in the future, known by PAC. This evolution is determined and rendered immutable by smart contracts or self-executing code on the Ethereum blockchain. I love this. I love when artists use the NFT technology, you know, smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain, when they use that technology for their art. So PAC decided that this piece is going to switch at a random time in the future. Maybe it's 40 years in the future, who knows? If I was PAC, I would have just made it this outrageously long time from now, because it's just more interesting that way, you know? But we'll see. But this thing's going to change in the future, and this is one of the 2 auctions, and there's 2 days remaining, and the current bid is 1.3 million bucks. So yeah, it's been on the market, or the auction's been open for an hour and 16 minutes. And the Pixel has 1.1 million auction price right now. Whoopsies. And it's literally 1 pixel. I don't even know where it is. It's on here somewhere, but it's a teeny tiny pixel. The pixel is a single pixel statement and is created to validate. The pixel is a digitally native artwork visually represented by a single pixel 1 by 1. It is a token that signs the most basic unit of a digital image in a traditional global auction house. It is a tiny mark to carry digitally native art to a potential future history. there's like a lot of depth. There's a lot of stuff to unpack with this drop. You know, I've shown packs work to like friends of mine and stuff that aren't into NFTs, and you know, they've said, what's the big deal about, you know, something like this? It's just like a rotating 3D image. Like, why is that, you know, true artwork? Whereas like, you know, I don't know, the big names, Picasso and stuff, you know, why is this guy being regarded in the same kind of class as people like that? I couldn't disagree more, obviously, because he's revolutionary in digitally native artwork, but just the creativity and how artistic the drop structure is incredibly impressive. You don't just roll out of bed and make this drop structure. Like, this is an incredibly advanced drop structure that's completely original, that has layers of complexity, and you know, I just haven't seen anything like this. So I think it's incredibly interesting, and I think that, all right, so let's see. I just think that the results of this are going to be fascinating for a while. So Cube, almost 15,000 units sold on the first day. Wow. Let's see what Discord's saying real quick. Someone's selling a cube for $450. That's got to be a joke. There's no way. Yeah, 100% that's a joke. I'm gonna emoji that. That's pretty funny. I mean, you're seeing the NiftyGateway Discord really blow up in a way that we haven't seen recently. In general talk, it's really getting to be, you know, there's a lot of posting going on. It doesn't look like Top Shot yet, but there's a lot. But even Nifty Club, there's a ton of conversation, and a lot of times this is like a little bit less intense. But yeah, I mean, this is a historic drop. I'm kind of rambling at this point. I'm really excited about this. I'm fascinated by what the total sale volume is going to be between the auctions and the open edition. Man, I'm wondering what it's going to be. I'm also wondering what the long-term performance of Cube is going to be, and just the tokenization of it, and the fact that Pax, you know, trying to create an ecosystem around his work where, you know, your Pack Cube has, you know, value in that ecosystem. The last thing that I really want to talk about in this video is how much this drop is pulling from the NFT market at the macro level. People are liquidating their NFTs to take, you know, to participate in this drop. If I look at anything in my portfolio here, anything in my collection, this piece, $14.50. If anything, this one's doing pretty well, the Dot Pigeon piece. But let's see what this last sale is. $250. Absolutely cratering. Slime Swing, $580. Actually retaining its value a little bit. 480. This is going to be, yeah, $600. Not that bad. This one, CryptoCaster, last sale $1,000. Things are cratering just so that people can get exposure to this. $500 on this Tom Yu. Bitcoin Angel, what do we got? $2,000. That's the cheapest. We haven't seen any sub $2,000 Bitcoin Angels in a while. People are exiting Bitcoin Angel because they're like, I want to get exposure to this pack drop. I wouldn't be surprised if this one, yep, $989, taking a bath, under $1,000 for that. I'm pretty sure this one, $850, taking a bath. It's crazy. Genesis, $12.75. Now's the time to buy Genesis. You're almost buying at a drop price, which is pretty incredible. So yeah, I mean, it's fascinating to see money leave the rest of the market to go into this pack drop. Clearly, people think that buying a bunch of cubes is the way to go, which I think so. If you're a whale and you have the capacity to buy one of the top 100 amounts of cubes, who knows how many you'll have to buy to do that. It's probably a six-figure investment. I'd actually almost guarantee that it's a six-figure investment. But yeah, I mean, this is really fascinating. We haven't seen anything like this. I will do a video that covers the results of this drop. I'm Crypto Pio. This is Escape Velocity. Thanks for watching. I will be doing live streams in the near future for drop watches. I'm just sorting some things out. Catch you next time.